What's going on, guys? Welcome back to 100% Chelsea and welcome to your opposition preview of Chelsea versus Manchester City in the Carabao Cup final. I'm joined by Buvey, mate. How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, mate.
I mean,
Nervous?
I've got the lube, I've got the spanking paddle. Look, I'd give it to you as a gift because, to be honest, but that'd be a bit weird.
Yeah, well, look, the big thing is, look, you won in Europa League. That's a big result for you, beating I forgot who they were again. But look, you're on Channel 5. You beat them in the Europa League. Fair enough. So
actually, BT Sport now.
Yeah,
they've got
HD.
Yeah, they got BT Sport 3, mate. It works out well. But I mean,
but look, I think you're. I don't think it's going to be. Look, I know. I said on a few other shows it's going to be 6-0. It's just a bit of chat, okay? It's just a bit of banter. But it's a cup final, especially with Chelsea. That obviously you're very good in cup finals. Have you lost a cup final in recent years?
Arsenal a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
we could have done a double.
Too many. I can't think of too. And that's the big thing where Chelsea are, a bit like City, very good at converting trophies over the last 10 years. That's a proven fact. So that's the only thing I'm worried about is your actual, as a club, you do get over the line. When things are going poorly, you win a Champions League, for example. When things are going poorly, you win a Europa League. Do you know what I mean? So it wouldn't be out of the question if you do grind out a weird result on Sunday.
But you're seriously, secretly confident. You're only saying that.
Yeah, I'm low-key confident. I'm low-key confident, but it's a tough one. Does Callum Hudson-Odoi start for you guys and pull something out where he's a little bit different? He pulls something, he changes it up a bit. Does Higuain do something where the City defence don't know what's going on in that regard? And obviously Hazard is a player that is bordering world class. I don't think he's world class at the moment. You guys are going to slag me off for that.
No, on form I agree with you.
Yeah. On his day, of course, he's a world class player, but at the moment, the way he goes in and out of seasons, in and out of games, if he shows up at Wembley, he could destroy City, of course.
I mean, based on the season so far, obviously we beat you at home. You killed us at your place, I think is the polite way of putting it. There are other terms you could use, but this is 2019, Harvey Weinstein and everything has happened, so I can't use those terms. However, you've got a fully fit squad now, haven't you? Are there any injuries?
Vinny Company might be a little bit injured. He always is, obviously, and I don't think Mendy's going to be fit for this one. There might be a few small niggles that I don't know about based on the result in Schalke. But for me, I think you go with the full strength lineup, no messing around. I know that he played Vincent Kompany last season against Arsenal. He had a great performance. He scored a goal as well. But this one, it's got to be a statement of intent for the Premier League more than anything else, and starting our absolute strongest lineup. And for me, that even means dropping Muric, who's been exceptional for us. Great in the penalty shootout against Leicester. But if you want to win trophies, it's not like we're playing Swansea or some lower league side or whatever in the final. This is Chelsea, so you have to start the big guns.
100%. I think I agree with you. Well, we're going to be going with a full strength lineup anyway because Surrey doesn't like to change. We could be playing Bradford or Swansea at home and we'd still be playing a full strength lineup. But I mean, you're saying full strength. Let's be honest, City could still be full strength for the second team squad. Your depth is ridiculous.
You look at the Newport game. Did you watch that? I mean, the Newport game was unbelievable. And we had 300 million pounds worth of quality on the bench. It was stupid. And you, as a Chelsea fan, you know what your squad's like as well. In recent years, you've had a similar sort of thing. Yeah. So we're so lucky as fans with the players that we can see come on off the bench. Yeah. Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva. It's so lucky. It's so lucky.
Kevin, saying those names, I'm just sat there going, "No, we've got Kovacic, Barkley, and we got the best defensive midfielder on the planet, but unfortunately, he doesn't play in defensive midfield." But I mean, let's go a bit further in. Your squad, what is going to be the team that you expect City to line up with? Obviously, you're saying full strength. Yeah. What is full strength to someone who may not know?
Full strength for us is, as a City fan, it's very, very hard to say because Pep Guardiola, more than any manager I've ever had in my life, and Mancini is a great example, where Mancini, he got some good results for us, obviously the FA Cup, the league title. He's very similar to Sarri, how he'd be very, very structured. Players like Gareth Barry, Yaya Toure, always in the same position. David Silva, very rigid. So with Pep Guardiola, the lineup could be anything. He could play Muric out of loyalty for the youth players. For me, I'll just run through it then. So Ederson has to start, in my opinion. Easier said than done with Pep. He could just put Muric in for the sake of it. Kyle Walker at right back, you have to play him despite some of the wobbles earlier in the season. And then Laporte and John Stones, I think they're exceptional, bringing the ball out. And if you guys don't change your setup, which is likely based on what you're saying, I think John Stones and Laporte build every attack that we have comes from those two.
You basically do what Sarri wants us to do, but on a much more clinical level.
Yeah.
To be honest, Sarri balls, people, I hate the term. It pisses me off. It's like Gergen pressing. There's this all philosophies. Just shut up. It's football, okay? Possession football. ours is a much dumbed down version of what you want to do.
Yeah.
And Laporte, John Stones has come on leaps and bounds under Pep. He's unreal
World
now.
Cup was big.
Exactly, a massive World Cup. And Laporte, I genuinely think he's a very underrated player. Not many people talk about him, and when they do, it's only when you go, yeah, we've got Van Dijk, we've got this player, we've got this player. Oh yeah, and we've got Laporte. He's one of those forgotten players. And then he's your transfer record currently, isn't he?
I think Mahrez might have just pipped that in the summer. But yeah, for me, John Stones has been absolutely incredible for us this season. I can remember against, I think it might have been Chelsea a few seasons ago when we first signed him and he was very weak.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Costa that made him look like a bit of an idiot. I was there for that when you smashed us at the Etihad. But no, John Stones, the World Cup changed his whole career, I think. The goals he scored obviously got us to the semi-finals. But he's
Slabhead.
physical. Well, yeah, Slabhead.
Yorkshire
Love Slabhead. I wish we signed Slabhead just out of a sort of to get them back together. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm there going, when he was like going to United, I was like, yes, that's a weird decision. I want him at Chelsea.
Do you know what I mean?
I liked him when he was at Hull. I thought Maguire was a player. Like, me and my dad was sitting there, and you watch Maguire, he's like, oh, well, he's quite confident for a player that's about to get relegated. And then he went and moved to Leicester and did really, really well.
Exceptional, isn't he? But yeah, the big thing for me might be, ironically, is how you play your right midfield, right forward positions, and how we play our left back. Because I think Zinchenko, on his day, it can be very good. He'll come into the midfield, he'll underlap and overlap your midfield, but defensively you can get him, and that's why I'm slightly worried that you might actually start Hudson-Odoi. I don't know how likely that is. Obviously, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but if you do, I think it's someone that our City players don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, how to play against him.
for me, if it was me personally picking the team, based on his performance on Thursday against Malmo, look, I understand it's Malmo.
Yeah.
City and Malmo are completely different animals, despite the fact you wear the same colour shirt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's kind of a case of his directness, the way he moves with the ball. Every 18-year-old, like they run with no fear.
Yeah.
And for me, even though he played 90 minutes, Sarri's talking about the fact that he's not got the legs, he's not got the stamina because he's a youth player. There's Willian, there's Pedro. I'm there going, look, come on, mate. Like, this kid he's the best there is out there right now. I think if he'd been playing regularly, he could be on a level with the likes of Sancho, and that's me being. I don't really say stuff like that. It's a case of, he's an unreal player, and I'd start him and then bring him off if he hasn't got the stamina.
Yeah, because you might be 2-0 down anyway. Whoever you start 2-3 down, he could create some weird thing where you get an early goal and you hold on to it for a long period of time. I just think, if I was Sarri, I think it's a no-brainer to start him.
Yeah,
and if he's pulled up a bit in training, after the Malmo game, fair enough. He's a young player, he's getting used to men's football, I get that. But if he's fresh and he feels confident, you have to start him.
100%.
How would City wouldn't know how to play against someone like that, who can genuinely dribble and attack? Almost someone like Pedro, who is probably a better player at the moment, still, more experienced player. You sort of know how to play against Pedro. You know his game.
I mean, Pedro, because he's not quite got the legs. So you see it now. Like where he hit the ball a little bit longer than he used to. He doesn't quite get there now. But I personally see him as he's an inverted attacker almost. He's that extra centre forward. Yeah. But he's playing on the right wing.
Comes in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Spread the pitch, and I think someone like Hudson-Odoi, if Zinchenko plays at left back for us, and he starts. It balances the game right up. It really does. Okay,
and then moving into your midfield, what's it going to be?
It's a no-brainer. I think anyone could pick this. It's Fernandinho, David Silva, and Kevin De Bruyne. That's my. I'm going back to basics with that. I think it's crazy, isn't it? But
that's pretty basic. That's our standard team.
The but is that Bernardo could play ahead of David Silva. That's how good he's been this season.
Bernardo Silva as a player, he's an unsung hero again. I'll talk about Laporte. People say he's good, but he goes under the radar. Some of the stats he puts out.
Do you see him as a potentially bordering a world-class playmaker potential? I think he could be.
Yeah, I think he is. I think for people really to see it, though, he'd have to leave City to get starting positions anywhere else. He'd walk into our team. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, David Silva, Bernard on the bench, Gundogan. You've got some unreal players. But I mean, the fact this is a conversation that we were having. Jorginho, obviously, he turned down City to go to Chelsea because
I hate him.
Do you?
No, I hate him for that because we've had a few players that have done the similar sort of thing. I know Van Dijk didn't get quite done. I think he wanted to go to Liverpool for personal reasons because I think he supports the club as a boy. Sanchez as well, and Jorginho. And I think you're looking at Jorginho. He's won nothing as a player. He's not won anything, right? And I know he loves Sarri. I know he's part of the Sarri ball philosophy. I know you hate that, but he's part of that philosophy. Why not go to the best manager in world football? Why not?
So our argument for it, as much as I criticise him, and I love to criticise Jorginho, you know me, I love to criticise everyone under the sun, but he's not. I think he'd be the 5th choice. I think that's also another reason why I didn't go to City, because at Chelsea he'd be guaranteed first team football. Do you think he'd be playing at City regularly? Really?
Yeah, I honestly, and I've got mates and people that say you're chatting absolute shit with this, right? I think Jorginho would have started 25 games this season so far. How many games are there? 30. We've played about 30 odd games.
Yeah.
So maybe 15 to 20 games. I think honestly it would have been him and Fernandinho in the big games, controlling the play, really dictating it. I'm not going to say it would have been a success based on how he's been at you guys, being quite lackluster, lack of physicality, lack of pace. Great on the ball still. Despite that, he's still been very good on the ball when he's had it. I love him. I love that kind of player. I really do.
It's a very niche type of player, isn't it? Very specific. 100%. I think the issue we've had with Jorginho, like I said, I love to criticise him. He is weak on the ball, but the problem is in the system he plays, he's the lone man in front of the fence. And yeah, exactly. I think he should play Kante and Jorginho as a two, because you're saying, for example, Fernandinho and Jorginho. If you had Fernandinho next to him, he'd have the protection, but as well as that, he does something that can distribute. Kante, his distribution is very underrated.
I think he's great. He's great at distribution, Kante, but he's not. Is he a 9 out of 10 at distribution? No. Is he 9 out of 10 for pace and power on the ball? No way.
Really? Have you not seen Kante this season so far?
The goal against Malmo, I know he set one up, didn't he, by running through the middle of the pitch, but look, I'm doing that against Malmo. It's enough.
No, but seriously, when he did it against you lot earlier in the season,
Yes,
him and Loftus-Cheek, he does have that to his card, and I think that's something that's very underrated about Kante, because he's played as that defensive midfielder. I mean, someone's saying Danny Drinkwater carried him at Leicester. I don't know what they've been watching. He has had some fantastic players, like Matic, Pogba. He's had a great career, and there's no doubt about that. But he's been the linchpin to every single successful team he's been in. There's no doubt about that. He's been so important.
He's a world-class talent. He's not an 8 out of 10. I think he's a 10 out of 10. I've actually said in shows before, I think he could go on to be the best defensive midfielder ever. I actually
having that conversation, I think.
I actually think he's in that conversation now, and I don't want to be chatting too much gas, but I actually think he could be better than Makelele on various reasons. I know Makelele's done a lot more. I think he's won Champions League and stuff like that, but based on his game and what he did at Leicester, Leicester won the league not because of Mahrez, in my opinion, because I think it could have been another attacker doing flair things. Kante did a world-class job in CDM.
Yeah. I mean, this is it. Every amazing team has had a player that does the dog work. I mean, you look at, for example, James Milner, when he was available from you guys for a free, I was all over him. But because he's not an Italian central midfielder called Jaco Mirarino or something like that, and he's James Milner from Leeds, no one's going to want to sign him. It's James Milner. Whereas now, you see at Liverpool, he does it for you. He did it at Leeds, did it at Newcastle. He's a fantastic player. But for Kante, that's our guy right now. But I mean, you said your midfield. I'm now needing a new change of pants. But moving on to your forward line. Go on, what's going on there?
Sane has to start. He's come off the bench against Schalke. He must be absolutely furious. And you can see how Pep operates with mind games, because he's come out today or yesterday. He said, "Look, Sane is the best wide player in the world football." And he benched him the day before. So you can see this is how Guardiola works. And as a fan, this is why I'm trying to say I don't know what the lineup is, because he could be messing around with Sane's confidence. He didn't start him at the start of the season.
Swatted that free kick in against Schalke.
What a free kick. And that's Ronaldo-esque. Of course it is. Sane has to start left wing. There's no debate Aguero over Jesus. I love Jesus for what he does, but Aguero, for me, I say this in other shows as well. I think Aguero is the second best striker in Premier League history.
Behind
Thierry Henry.
After Shearer?
Look, cameraman, okay?
Listen, that's Scott. Don't be mean to
Scott, right? Shearer won Premier League. 0 trophies for his goals at Newcastle. Legend. Great at everything. Aguero has won way more trophies, done different sort of positions, come in at a time at City and changed everything. Think about it, guys.
I think that he's definitely in the conversation. He's definitely top 3. There's no doubt about it. I think it's switchable depending on who you like. Me, it's Shearer, because he has a goal tally. That's what's most important in terms of most important centre forward.
Lot of tap-ins.
Listen, I mean, so Sergio Aguero, he's good at that. He can head the ball, he can do everything. If you're a good centre forward, you score goals when it matters. But I think it's kind of a case of, I think the biggest question. So I always put, if you said to do a Premier League combined 11 of all the teams over the entire history, obviously we won't do that because that's like an hour long.
Another video.
No, it is another video. But you're talking, look at underrated players. We've already spoken about Milner. Yeah. I think Aspilicueta, Sergio Aguero is a centre forward for me. He's never won a Player of the Year in it. I don't understand how.
He has to win it. He has to win it this season. If he keeps going, I think he has to win it. If Giggs wins one, Giggs won one when he's 39, 38 or something, ahead of Fernando Torres in his first season. It's a shambles. So we know the PFA award thing is a load of rubbish. So just give it to Aguero now. Why not?
I mean, leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think Aguero should be getting PFA Player of the Year? But that's your front line. Sane, Aguero, right wing.
Sterling every day of the week. No Mahrez, please. I can't do it. Mahrez against Newport, and this is honest. I've got nothing against the guy, but every time I do a video talking about City, I always put up Mahrez. He's underperforming, and no one's saying anything. Yes, he's got some decent stats. You know that table you see on Twitter of his seasons and then stats. It looks okay because he's at City. He should be dominating games. When he starts, he should be taken over. He's the PFA Player of the Year winner in 2016. He's a Premier League winner. And I just don't see anything special from the guy. And I think he's been really lacklustre. And if
not worth the money he spent?
Is he worth 60 million? Yeah, I think he's... That's the ironic thing. I think we've done a good deal to get him at a cheap. Because I think if he had a few more years on his contract, he's worth a bit more than that. And we've got him at a cheap. I just don't think he fits in very well. And that's just my personal opinion. So Sterling, you can't have him. He's not a Europa League player. But
rubbing it in, isn't he?
Sterling every day has to start, and I think he's just going to get at you guys. And if Alonso plays, which I assume he will, scary, isn't it? Scary.
I'm just getting flashbacks right now.
Everyone forgets where Alonso. Everyone was gassing about Alonso, right? Yes, he's had a decent season when he played left wing back. I get that. He was at Sunderland, wasn't he? In Bolton.
Yeah.
That's his pedigree.
This is, I mean, if you look at it though. I think Alonso as a player, right now, I said from the beginning of the season, he's not on a left back. That's not his position. He is a wing back, and the reason he did so well in that season under Conte, and the same goes for Victor Moses, they were coached really well. It's the fact that it's a system that no one understood, but on top of that, Conte was there going, you go here, you do this, you do that, and that way, because it wasn't. I think in this system you're more likely to or have to express yourself a lot more. Yeah. It's very Pavarotti
system as opposed to Conte being it's almost mechanical under Conte. It's
very Pavarotti in comparison to an Italian cheese factory. I think it's kind of one of those. That's how I like to look at it. Big up Modena, that's where I'm from. But it's kind of a case of I think that he just doesn't fit. He's too slow, and we saw that against you guys. And I think the same goes for Aspilicueta, quite a fantastic servant at Chelsea. Yeah. But I think if you, I saw it a couple of times in the season, but I didn't really focus on it because I was more focused on the scoreboard. But I was speaking to my old man. He was at home watching it. He was saying, you'd watch Aspilicueta go up against Sterling or against Sane, and you'd see that grit of the teeth of a guy who knows he's just lost that little yard of pace, and that makes all the difference. 29, but it's because, but this way, he's paid. He's basically 98%.
I honestly think he's one of the best defenders in world football still. I think he's just been Zabaleta. I remember Zabaleta, Mika Richards. We have some great fullbacks. Kolarov, Clichy. We've had some decent fullbacks. Man City. They always get exposed when the managers that have come in, especially Pellegrini, he exposed that midfield and bang. Zabaleta, one of the best right backs in Premier history, gets exposed. Gary Neville got exposed. Ashley Cole got exposed. Yeah. I think he's probably the best left back in Premier League history.
Yeah, definitely 100%.
Do you know what I mean? So Aspilicueta has just been exposed by midfield where clearly there's no legs in it because Kante's way further up. Yeah. Jorginho's he's got nothing physically. Let's be real. And he's been exposed. I still think he's one of the best defenders in world football. Honestly,
I think if you look at the statistics from last season, he was statistically the best. Yeah. Better than Sergio Ramos, better than all his players. But that's because again he's playing in a system that suited the capabilities that we had. But then again, we still didn't have the depth to carry it out. And the same goes for this season. I think the Chelsea board have screwed up. But again, I'll talk about it all the time, and I'll talk about it more in Buvey's preview. So make sure you head across and check that out. But so you go through it one more time. You've gone Eduardo, fucking hell. He's our fourth choice keeper. Yeah. Edison in goal.
Yes.
You've gone Zinchenko, left back.
Zinchenko's the Laporte left centre back. Stones and then Kyle Walker. Fernandinho. That's a no-brainer. Kevin De Bruyne, David Silva. I'm just going to nudge David Silva ahead of Bernardo. It's tough. He might actually drop a forward, play Bernardo and David Silva.
Long John Silva in the youth academy.
Well, exactly. We need another Silva, don't we? and then the front three of Sane. He's been exceptional this season for us. His stats are unbelievable for someone his age as well. Sterling and then Aguero. No-brainer.
And there goes another new pair of trousers. That's what I'm going to need. Well, listen, we've done the lineup. Let's go through. Okay, this City team, it has a weak point. It has to have a weak point. Where can Chelsea target to actually try and get some silverware this season to try and really push you guys and make it, Chelsea doing the better this season out of the two of us, getting those 2 wins out of 3?
Big one for me would be in play. It would definitely be our left-sided left-sided part of the pitch because of Zinchenko, because Mendy's always injured. He's more injury prone than Company at the moment. It's ridiculous.
This is the thing with Mendy. People bang on about Mendy being one of the best left backs in the Premier League.
He is.
But he never plays. How can you say that?
Because when he's played, I think he's already got 5 assists a season in all comps, and he's played like 6 games. Honestly, watching him sometimes with fullbacks, you can just tell they're quite. Ashley Cole, Gary Neville. There's no debates with fullbacks. And I think Mendy, there's no debate. If he was fit over the last 2 seasons, we might have actually got to the Champions League final. That's how much of a difference he would have made. Obviously, ifs and buts. I'm sure Chelsea fans will slag me off for saying that. But
we're all right here. Don't worry, you'll be all right.
But honestly, we're so unbalanced at points when a big side attacks us down the right. It's a little bit scary, and I think Laporte can be found out as well. So it's a big debate. It's a big one.
Okay, well, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. But look, I'm going to push you for it. 6-0 again, yeah.
Look, I said 6-0 on a show recently. It's just a bit of chat. I'm going to go with 5-0 instead. But the way you guys play, Sarri's not going to change. If he changed, I think he might have won more trophies in his career. He's won 0 trophies. The proof's in the pudding. Do you know what I mean? We're all standing here. We've all won the same amount of trophies as him in professional football.
To be fair, I mean, I've
15 mil a year.
I've done it on Football Manager, mate.
Yeah,
I've done it.
You've actually probably done it. He's probably hasn't played that game, so you're ahead of him in some aspects.
My youth production, top level. That sounds really weird. Don't go near that. Don't touch that. I mean, Chelsea are going to have to start doing that now. We are now going to be paedophile FC because of our transfer fan. But listen, Buvey, thank you very much, mate. Best of luck in the final. You're not going to really need it.
No,
but,
we won't. You will.
Well, listen, such a prick. Head across to the link down below, obviously, to check out Buvey's preview and our opposition analysis, the good stuff, the best Chelsea fan channel on the internet. But that, guys, subscribe. Take care, Buvey. Again, thank you very much, mate, and we'll see you later. Take care.